Alrighty guys, so I want you guys to pay attention because this video is going to be kind of basically a little bit of psychological. So notice how a lot of these setups we've been taking a lot of buys. But in this situation over here, I know this could have confused people to see, oh, we have a big push down, we have new lower lows. Let's try to find a level of resistance where we can sell at. So I know this would have confused a lot of people. So what I'm going to do is, let's not worry about this right now. What we're going to worry about is spreading out these little zones right here still. So I'm going to just press play really quick. So now we created some type of new higher high, but we did come back and reject this level of resistance. So that right there should tell you, damn, we rejected resistance. All right, we don't want to go long right now. You know, we got to be patient. Either way, guys, this is the Asian session. Keep that in mind. Price at the Asian session will not always respect your analysis. Now look at this. What is happening here? What is happening here? We just broke under this level of support. So now what we're going to try to do is, because we're creating new lower lows, we kind of want to form a resistance to sell to kind of push to this zone right here. So let's see how this plays out. Now what do we have? We have this little form of resistance. So what we could have done was, we could have entered a trade after this candle closed and forming a little resistance right here. Stops above the resistance, a little bit big, but you know, hey, it's how the move is. Either way, if we're going to target our next zone, it's still a 46 pip move. So let's see how this plays out. Oh my God, this was insane. This was insane. So we had a pretty big spike after almost getting stopped out right here. Because what did price do? Price kind of took a little turn as right here at this candle, boom, it closed bullish, almost stopped us out and kind of tanked down. So in this situation, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen. Look at that. Boom. We came back here. We didn't get stopped out yet, but we came back, huge wick to the upside right there. Huge wick to the upside right there. Remember, at this point, we have a 30 pip stop loss. It's still a very valid trade, which ended up hitting 46 pips. We still make money on our trade. But let me remove this really quick. What else do we have here? We have this level of support being broken, retested, now a form of resistance. So what could we have done right here? We could have sold the second we closed bearish right here. And guess what? We have a little level of, so we have a little resistance right there that we can close above. And as you guys can see, we risked 20 pips to make 30 pips. So a little smaller stop loss, but as you guys can see, played out very nice. Back to this zone. You see how they're acting like magnets? Boom. Beautiful. So this is kind of what I want to talk about, because some people probably would have bought. Let me remove this right here. Some people would have probably bought right here after this formed a level of support. But as you guys can see, this trade ended up getting stopped out. Boom. So you got to be very, very careful, because this trade ended up getting stopped out, creating this form of resistance after breaking market structure to the downside under our support, making it our resistance. So this is where that patient game really comes in, because let's say we broke through. Okay, now we have to wait for some type of resistance to form. Now look at this. We got a little candle that rejected here. So this is not a valid resistance to enter off of that we can sell. Why? As you guys can see, this humongous wick that stopped us out, besides that trade, we didn't have a candle formation like this. You know what I'm saying? A retest and then a bearish candle. So let's say you would have been patient. Like I said, this requires patience. You cannot gamble this. You have to be very patient. This thing ended up just mopping down. Enter the trade right there. Stops above the resistance. Boom. Beautiful trade. Call it a day. Very, very simple. So when it comes to these type of trades, remember, you got to always realize, where is my market going? You got to always have those type of confluences. So on this situation here, on this levels, we rejected a strong level of support in the 4-hour, kept coming up, then came back down. Then guess what? We rejected again, kept coming right back up. Now we came right back down. So let's kind of see how this plays out a little bit, you know? Look at that. Look at that. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy because remember, this is still our 4-hour level of support, guys. This is still our 4-hour level of support. Right here. So at the end of the day, look at this. Nice little level. Stops be under this wick. Boom. Target this zone right here, which is this level right here. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, look at this. This is ridiculous. I don't know what the hell happened there. This was the next day open. So you see that? Crazy, right? I'm telling you guys, this requires a lot of patience. This was a 17 pip to make a 35 pip gain, 2 times your risk. I like this setup. So keep in mind, guys, you got to be very patient, very, very patient, because I can promise you guys will lose every single time you are rushing. If you got in 2 minutes earlier, you could lose. Just 2 minutes. I literally took a big loss because I wasn't patient. 2 minutes. And guess what? I tried to redeem myself the next day, and I forced another setup 5 minutes earlier into the thing, and guess what? I lost. So I'm telling you, you will lose if you're not patient, because you need to know exactly where your stop is. And this is the reason why. Because notice this right here. Let's remove this. I'm going to show you. Notice this right here. Perfect. Just notice this right here. I guess we can use this as an example. Look how when the candles are created, the wicks don't just wick down and stop us out. You know, we keep going up. We keep going up. You see what I'm saying? This is another perfect example. Look at this. You see these wicks down here, 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 here before we hit this zone. So, I mean, keep in mind how these candles, you have to identify them. You need to realize that these candles right here, you need to be able to be on the side that is going to help you. In this situation, patience. Because if you would have waited to form this level of support, form a little resistance, like this, for example, right here, after this created a level of support, notice how we had support here from the 4-hour. We had support here created again. We had another level of support created again right here. And we just kept going. We just kept going. And if you notice, like I said, these wicks don't go lower, so you don't get stopped out. So if you would have entered, this was a massive move. I sent this as a signal. It was amazing. If we would have, boom, waited here and engulfing, look at that. Stops below the wick. Could have had it right here. Aggressive, boom, a little bit safer. Guess what? Target the next zone. Boom. That was an 89 pip move with an 18 pip stop loss. That's making 5 times your risk. Well, 4.9. But look at that. Now look at this humongous, massive move that we just made, that every single candle that kept forming, the wicks never stopped you out. They never went under the previous wick. It never went under this one. This wick 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 never went under this one. Ever. So keep in mind, guys, you need to realize that this takes patience. It takes a lot of patience. 100 million%. This was also another trade that we did end up taking. We formed this level of support. We formed another level of support because we're still very bullish on the 4 hour. As you guys can see right here, we're still very bullish. Look at that. Amazing. Let's go back to 30-minute. And look at this. Beautiful. Entered right here. This was amazing buy. We entered right here. Oops. We entered literally right here after this candle closed. Why is this doing that? Oh, here you go. Boom. Entered after this candle buys. Stops below the wick. Targeted this zone right here. We actually targeted this zone, to be honest. And as you guys can see, boom. Perfect. Why did we target this zone? Because it was above this wick right here. And as you can see, it went above this wick beautifully. So keep in mind, guys, you got to be very, very patient with these setups. So I hope you guys took a lot of notes on that video because that was very, very, very important. I'm going to keep showing you guys more examples. Actually, let me just keep doing it right now. Look at this. What do we have here? And you guys can backtest this. Go do this. Do this on every pair. This is every pair. You know, what do we have here? We got a strong level of support. Okay, cool. Boom. Got a strong level of support here forming as we get closer to the session. We're going to wait for a level of support to be created. Oh, look, that's exactly what happened here. Enter on a bullish candle after the close. Perfect. Stops below the wick. Target levels. As you guys can see, this level hit. Beautiful. That's kind of how these map out. So look at that. That is so perfect. That is so perfect. Now look, just like I was showing you guys, just how I was showing you guys, the same thing that happened here. Look at that. Wick here, wick here, wick here, wick here, wick here. Look how tight this was, and it didn't even close under. Didn't close under. You know what I'm saying? Formed another level of support. Boom. We got a bullish candle. What happened? Enter here. Super risky trade. Boom. Target this level right here. Guess what? Smashed. And it kept going. Why? Because remember, guys, if we can break through this right here, we're going to keep flying, which ended up happening. Boom. Right after we were stopped out, but hey, it ended up happening. So as you guys can see here, we did target here. It was lovely. Beautiful trade. I took that this morning. Boom, boom. So you guys, keep in mind, guys, these candles, the wicks, if the trade is valid, keep in mind, if the trade is valid, they will not go under the previous wick. They will just keep on going. So from there, you can start trailing your stop losses. You can start trailing your stop loss. Okay, I'm in profit. Let me put my stop loss right here. Okay, I'm in profit again. Let me put my stop loss right here. Okay, I'm profit again. Let me put my stop loss right here. Let me put my stop loss. As you guys see, we keep going up and we don't hit this, and you trail your stop losses. So that way, if something were to happen, look at this. We would have been stopped out if we didn't trail our stop losses. Stop loss would have been here. Okay, stop loss would have been here. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't take profit here. So keep in mind, guys, you got to be very, very patient, very disciplined with these types of setups. I'll see you guys in the next video.